Hi, I'm Laura Fales, Food Service Director for USD 320. And today we're going to be making energy bites. We're so excited to bring you another in a series of videos for our Cooks and Books program in conjunction with the Wamego Public Library. Let's get started. Our first recipe is for an energy bite. It takes a lot of energy for all of us to be as physically active as we need to each day, whether that's playing soccer, basketball, riding your bike, mowing the lawn, cleaning the house, any of those things that you might be doing this summer. We need energy to do that. Our brains also need the energy so that we can continue learning year-round. Our video is going to highlight yoga. So here are a number of titles that the library has of yoga books. We have Yoga for Everyone, Yoga with Friends, Good Morning Yoga, and You Are a Lion, and other fun yoga poses. I encourage you to check them out. So let's get started with our recipe. This energy bite recipe calls for 6 ingredients: unsweetened coconut flakes, flaxseed, oatmeal, chocolate chips, vanilla, honey or syrup, and peanut butter. Now in your packs, we've given you individual packets of sun butter. Sun butter is made from sunflower seeds. And we know that we have a number of kids out there with allergies, with peanut allergies. So this is a safe alternative to peanut butter. What I'm going to use today is actual peanut butter, but you can use any nut butter that you would like. So the first thing that we're going to do is measure out our dry ingredients. If you follow along on your recipe card, you know that we need 1 cup of oatmeal. And a handy tip is to always keep a knife close by when you're doing this so that you can level off your measurements of your dry ingredients, and that way you know you're getting exactly 1 cup and not a heaping cup. So our 1 cup of oatmeal, then we need a cup of coconut flakes, and because I measured these out into a little bit bowl, I'm gonna cheat a little and do that to make it easier. So here is our cup of unsweetened coconut flakes. And then we need a 1/2 cup of flax seeds. Flax seeds have lots and lots of fiber in them. They're really good source of energy for us. Then we can mix together our dry ingredients. Just so that they're all tossed up together. See how that's a nice blend of all of our ingredients there? The next thing that we're going to set those aside for a minute. I'm going to move these out of the way. Now we're going to measure our wet ingredients. So we need 1/2 cup of peanut butter or sun butter. And when you're measuring butters like this, nut butters, it's always good to have a spatula on hand. I will move this over so you can see. So we obviously get huge tubs of peanut butter and sun butter here at the district kitchen since we do things in such big quantities. Your jar of peanut butter isn't going to look like this at home, I'm sure. But as you can see, I'm using the spatula to get that out. Ooh, looky there. And level that off. Then I'm going to use our spatula to scoop around in that cup so it can all come out like that, nice and neat. You see there's some still stuck in our cup. That's what that good edge of your spatula, which you received in your toolkit, is for. Get all that creamy yumminess out of there. Okay, now we're going to add our honey or our syrup. Your bag has honey in it. I don't have any honey in the district kitchen at the moment, but I do have syrup, and you probably have syrup at home too. So we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of our honey or syrup. And I've got my 1/3 cup measuring, and just because I'm using these little ones, it's gonna seem kind of funny, but at home you probably have a squeeze bottle of syrup. And a nice thing to know about local honey, especially local honey, is that they can really help if you happen to have allergies. So that's something that's easy to incorporate and can help during those heavy pollen seasons. And if you are using syrup and worried about sugar content, there are a number of really delicious sugar-free syrups out there. I made the switch at our house and my family hasn't even noticed. Okay, here's our 1/3 cup of, in this case, syrup. Again, I'm gonna use my spatula to get out as much of that ooey goodness as I can. And this is a little bit hard to mix together, but I'm gonna do that just a titch, and then I'm gonna pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds so that it gets just a little bit melty and liquefies, just enough for us to be able to pour it over our dry ingredients. So our microwave's back over here, just 1 second. All right, here we are, back from the microwave. Now I'm going to more thoroughly mix together our peanut butter and syrup. You can see that now it's much more easy to mix together. The peanut butter has melted a little, and oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells delicious. Okay, so that is nice and blended together. And now, after it's all mixed together, we're going to add a teaspoon, of vanilla. Now, again, we get our vanilla in jugs like this in the kitchen because we use such big quantities. So I have poured that out just a little bit to make it easier for me to do this small amount. So we've added in our vanilla. Vanilla tends to evaporate pretty quickly, so it's always the last thing that you want to add in if you're baking or cooking with vanilla. All right, now we're going to pour our peanut butter and syrup mixture over the top and start to mix. Mix in. I'm going to use that spatula again here in just a little bit to make sure I get all of this gooey goodness out of this bowl. Here we go. We want every little bit to give us that energy we need. Now, this is the point when you think, how am I ever going to make that not look like it's full of just dry ingredients? Well, this is the super fun part. I except for the peanut butter on my thumb, I washed my hands before we started all this, and I've taken off my ring. So now's the fun part where you get to get in there and play with it. So I'm gonna use my hands and really mix this all up together. Look at that. The important thing is to have clean hands. Your school cooks are well trained on all of the hand washing that we have to do in here, but it is the first step that all cooks should do when they come into the kitchen. And did you know you should wash your hands for at least 20 seconds? And a really good way to know how long that is to sing happy birthday to you in your head or out loud twice. And then you know that you have washed them for 20 seconds. Now, an optional thing for this recipe is to add chocolate chips. I'm using mini chocolate chips because those aren't optional for us. We want that little hint of sweet in there. So I'm gonna mix these in. Now, this really is good enough to eat just by the spoonful, but we are gonna turn them into balls so that we can pop them into the fridge and let them cool and solidify. And then we will be able to pull them out, and you can store them in Ziplocs. You can keep them in the fridge, whatever you'd like to do. Either way. But all you need to do is to press these into whatever size you would like. I like to do them in about a 2-bite size. So if it takes you 2 bites to get through it, then that's just about perfect. I've put a little piece of parchment paper down. You could use wax paper at home. So, as you make your bite-sized energy balls, you can put them in the fridge or the freezer. That's always a really good way to make sure that they firm up. And they can sit out on the counter if you're going to eat them within the next one or 2 days. They freeze really well, so you can freeze all that you make in advance and then be able to pull them out for that hike that you're going on, for yoga in the park, to have out while you're playing basketball. They're portable, they're bite-sized, and they're ready to go. And they're delicious. So we will look forward to seeing you next week. Here at the school kitchen, I always say, see you in the lunch line, but now I'm going to add, see you at the library.